Let me just turn that down a little bit. Hello everybody, welcome to another Yukon Bob video. In the truck as per usual this morning, northbound, heading up along the coastline of Georgian Bay today. It is going to be a 2-day trip today. That is my bed. That's where I'll be sleeping tonight, right in the back of the truck. I've got that all set up for camping. Thought I'd just sleep in the truck tonight instead of setting up a tent and saving a little bit of time and hassle with that. I've got all the stuff for a bed right in the back of the truck, so that's what I'll be doing for tonight. Sturgeon Bay Provincial Park Campground is the destination for today, and then out onto the waters of Georgian Bay and exploring northbound along the coastline of Georgian Bay out of that area. And then in the campground tonight, and then back on the water again tomorrow. So that is the plan. I think there's going to be at least 4 of us, 3, maybe 4 of us on this Seadoo trip. Going to stop and get some fuel on the way up, and then we will be meeting up at the campground and get everything set up and get these Seadoos into the water. So come along with us as we explore some of my favorite water to tour around on the Seadoo in southern Ontario, the waters of Georgian Bay today, out of the Sturgeon Bay Provincial Campground. We'll see you up there. Well, you know how I said in the last video that I always fuel up the Seadoo right after I get off the water? Today is that one exception. I'm filling up at a First Nations gas station on the way up to our launch site because gas here does not have the harmonized sales tax, the HST, applied to it. So what is the price here? $116.9 for regular fuel, and for premium, $139.9. So that's a big saving. So I'm going to fuel up the Seadoo here. I knew I was going to be here today, so we're going to fuel it up here and save a lot of money. Okay, so as it turns out, 3 of us have also shown up here. Scott's here, Greg's here, Andrew apparently has already been here and gone. So 4 of us have all fueled up here this morning because we all know about this spot and everybody stops here if you have the opportunity, because at $1.16 versus what, $1.30 in town, that's quite a saving. So it's pretty good. That's just for regular. Premium's cheaper as well. So everything is fueled up, ready to go, and we got about another, I don't know, 45 minutes or something to get up to the turnoff to get into Sturgeon Lake Provincial Park. Andrew should be already up there, and we'll meet him there. Okay, we have arrived at the Sturgeon Bay Provincial Park, and this is the launch site. Andrew got here a little bit before us, so he's already got his Seadoo in the water there. So Greg, question for you. Do you remember the last time we were here?
I do. And I'll tell you, it was wet.
Yeah, it was last summer. We drove up here, Greg and I. We were going to camp in this campground overnight, and what happened is we got here. I told Greg the weather conditions are going to be great. It's going to be nice and calm out there. Well, we got here, and it was really overcast, and then it started to rain, and he pulled out his phone and he said, take a look at the radar. And it was absolutely a massive weather system coming over top of us, a big rain system. I had forgot to check the actual weather. I had looked at the wind, and the wind was good. It was very calm, but the rain was pouring down. We ended up driving all the way back to Parry Sound, which is 40 kilometers down the road, launching there because we could see on radar it wasn't affecting that area, and we went out and Seadooed out of Parry Sound. So we never did get up here, but we're back now. And this is the launch, which is not great. It's a crappy launch. It's all broken up, and then you're basically onto mud. And then it's a narrow little passage to get out, but it'll work. With the Seadoo, you can get in the water here. All right, let's get things hooked up and get in the water. A little more, maybe. And just like that, we are off. Nice. Look at the mud that we have stirred up here. I will park this trailer right over there and then help everybody else launch.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, that is the last of us in the water. I'll pull out to a little better dock system just up over here and wait till everybody gets assembled. Get the Garmin fired up, get a few things set up and ready to go. So it's 10:30 in the morning by the time we're all in the water. We left at 7 o'clock, so that's three and a half hours with a stop for gas on the way up. So a little longer than we thought. We thought maybe 2.5. We thought maybe 3 hours, but we're 3.5 hours to actually get onto the water. But we've got lots of daylight today, lots of time, and the camp spot is registered and all of that. So we're going to get some wood when we get back and get back to the campsite. We'll figure out whether we want to leave the trailers down here at the launch spot or take them up to the camp spot. I think we're going to end up leaving them down here. I'm sleeping in the truck tonight, so the truck will have to be up top. And I think we're only allowed 2 vehicles at the actual campsite, so some vehicle will have to stay down here. Some vehicles, we'll see. At least one. I have programmed a little route onto the Garmin. Basically a route that takes us out of this area, out onto the open water of Georgian Bay, and then northbound on Georgian Bay up towards, I think it's Byng Inlet, and to the north along the coastline. There's a lot of islands up that way on Georgian Bay, so I've just got a route on there. It's just a rough route to give us some guidance. I'm sure we're going to be leaving that route, poking in here, poking in there around the islands and just looking around, but it'll give us just kind of a basic guidance as to where we are and kind of how to get back. I mean, it's not, we know how to get back, but it's just a rough idea of where we're kind of going to. I'm sure we're not going to follow it exactly today. Just put a little chapstick on. The last time I was out here last week, I got a little bit of a sunburn on my lip, a sun blister, and that's been kind of painful all week. It's just kind of dissipating now, so I've made sure to put some suntan lotion today on the lips and a little bit of that ballistic stuff, which I carry with me as well, just a little extra protection so that doesn't happen again, because on the lip, that's kind of painful and sore. All right, where are the other guys? What's going on here? There seems to be a little bit of a delay. Maybe he's still parking his truck. Maybe that's the delay. Give him a couple of minutes here. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Everybody's assembled. Let's head out of here.
To the Lighthouse.
Yeah.
See if the baker lady's there.
Oh, what baker lady's at?
She bakes at it.
Oh, yeah.
She used to.
Yeah, right at the Point Au Baril Lighthouse. There's a lady who has a bakery set up there. We'll
actually
see if she's there. So the Point Au Baril Lighthouse, the story behind that is in the old days, they used to take oak barrels and they would set those barrels on fire out on the point. And it would be a signal to a watercraft in the area that land was right there. So that is where the name Point Au Baril comes from. And today, of course, it's not that situation, but they've actually got a lighthouse. Is it a working lighthouse? Yeah, so it's a working lighthouse right at the point. All right, this is where things start to open up a little bit. You get out of the Inner Islands Channel, heading out towards the bigger open water of Georgian Bay, which is then dotted with islands all along the coastline. So we're just heading out towards some of the more open water now. So that is it there, the Point Au Baril Lighthouse in Georgian Bay, the big water just out that way. Big sign on it says closed, but the light appears to be lit up top. At least I think that light is on. It's a little hard to tell in the daylight. Check out this sign right here. It says no swimming, no picnicking, no dogs, no fishing. They're just missing one line. No fun. Nothing is allowed here. But the water is beautiful here. It's really cleared up out here now because we're into the open water of Georgian Bay. All that rock again here, and then it just drops right off the edge. Let's take a little cruise around here. Somebody stood up a rock right there on the point. And there, right up on the top there in the point, is a barrel on a stand symbolizing the old days when that's what they used to burn a fire in as a marker. Thus the name Point Au Baril. Way off in the distance, there's a whole pile of windmills, wind turbines. I'm going to take a drive a little closer to them and have a look. Whoa, rocks right there. Another little lighthouse right here. This may be a bit of a Coast Guard thing in here as well. I see, looks like some official kind of Coast Guard boats up there, and maybe a bit of a base here. But yeah, another little lighthouse out here. Very pretty through in here. Giroux Island Lighthouse Station. The guys have taken off way over that way. I hope they look around once in a while, see that I'm not with them. All right, let's catch them. Lots of swells from that boat that just went by. So this channel that we're on now, this narrower channel, is Byng Inlet, B-Y-N-G, and there's a marina down the end of it called Wright's Marina. You can get fuel and all that stuff there. Just gonna take a run down the channel and have a look, see what it looks like down there, and then we're gonna find some spot to have lunch. This whole wharf system goes, and because it looks pretty extensive, doesn't it? Like it was meant for something fairly big out along here. How old this is and what the heck used to tie up in here. It's all pretty much overgrown through here now. But at one time, this was quite the wharf area out here. The trick now is to find a spot where we can park 4 Seadoos and have lunch. Now, Scott forgot to bring a lunch. Somebody didn't give him the message, and I think even Greg didn't bring a lunch because he thought he could buy something at a gas station on the way up. So these guys could be hungry, or they're going to be eating half of my sandwich. One of the two. Why don't you guys go up to the store, see if you can buy a sandwich?
That's what I'm going to do. There's a picnic table there as well. There's a picnic table over there.
I kind of had a lunch spot pictured out in the island somewhere, but this is a little more industrial around here. Not exactly what I was thinking of for a lunch spot, but there is a picnic table over there. If I'd been thinking, I would have had the cooler turned around the other way so I could have accessed it from the Seadoo. Yeah, take one of those. Take that. That steak there, that's a beautiful prime ribeye steak. That's for tonight. That's going to be great. Looking forward to that. And some sandwiches. Perfect.
Yeah, Brad.
Well, this is not exactly the nicest, this is not the nicest spot. I thought we'd be on the lake somewhere.
Let's go to the next one.
Next what?
Next picnic table.
I don't see another one.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Now we can't unsee.
So that's the lunch spot for today here at Wright's Marina on Byng Inlet. Kind of wish we'd stop somewhere out in the island somewhere, but it's sometimes hard with all this rock to find a place you can tie up 4 Seadoos. And here there was a picnic bench. It just turned out to be easy. So Scott had to go up and buy his lunch from the restaurant because he forgot to bring lunch. So the rest of us had lunch. All right, so that's lunch here at Wright's Marina. We're just debating now whether we need to put a little bit of fuel into the machines. It doesn't seem to me like we've gone that far, but Andrew was thinking we've done 37 miles to get here, so we are definitely halfway. So we should need some fuel in these machines if we want to make our way up to those windmills that we saw off in the distance, which is a little bit further down. We might need a little bit of extra fuel, so take a look at the gauge and might have to buy a few bucks worth here. We'll see. So we got a little bit of a problem here. It seems like the microphones, for some reason, both Rode microphones, the receiver is dead, and it should have lasted a lot longer than this. It was fully charged when I left the house, but it won't turn on all of a sudden. So the audio kind of going forward from here is not going to be the best because the microphone system is just not working. And I've tested, I carried 2 of them. The backup one is also kind of dead, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to use the mic for at least the next while off the GoPro itself. And the audio quality off of that is not as good, but that's all I got right now, folks. That's all I can do. Both Rode microphones seem to be dead. I could probably get them recharged maybe at the park office or something like that, but can't do anything about it right now, so I'm gonna have to use this microphone for now. So I put what was it, $44 in, and I took a look at the kilometers that we've come, and I've come 60 kilometers. So yeah, that's about right, halfway. 120 kilometers on a tank is pretty close. So yeah, I did need to put some fuel in to make sure we get back. So one of the things I'm noticing on some of these newer Seadoos is that the gas gauge is not all that accurate, especially on the top half of the tank. It showed that I had, well over half fuel left, and really I only had half fuel left. I had come 60 kilometers, back would be another 60, that's 120 kilometers on a 70-liter tank. That's about right. So I had burned half, so keep an eye on those fuel gauges. They're not exactly accurate. You need to take a look at if you've got a tripometer or a gauge that's showing you your distance, to check that out, because I had already come halfway, but yet it didn't show that. I just bet Greg $20 that I can fly the drone right in between 2 blades as the wind turbines are going around. No, I won't be doing that. That would be dangerous, reckless. I wonder how much wind turbulence they create in front of them. I bet you there's not very much. Shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, we'll put the drone up, we'll get a little bit closer and get I've never done this before. We'll get a little closer and get a better look. So I got to tell you this story because this battery thing has been driving me nuts. So what happened is Andrew gave me the battery back. He charged it off of his Seadoo off a high power charger. Said, here, it's charged. He gave it back to me. I looked at it and it looked like it was charged. I hooked the whole thing back up to the camera and I couldn't see anything on it. I couldn't see it even turning on. The receiver just did not seem to come on. It was a blank screen. I tilted the sunglasses like this, which are polarized sunglasses, and then I could see the screen. I put the sunglasses back like this. I could see nothing on the screen. It looked like it had not even turned on. So the battery was not completely dead. It was simply these polarized glasses that were not allowing me to see that the thing was on. That is so bizarre. I can't believe I haven't come across that before. Maybe these glasses, compared to other glasses I've been using, have not, the other ones weren't polarized or something, although I thought they were. But that's what it was. The battery was charged, at least halfway, but I could not see the actual screen on the receiver. It looked to me like the power had not even turned on at all. But it was there and it was working. So we've got the microphones back, and that's a relief because I thought something's really weird going on here. Why are they draining so quickly? Very bizarre. Another thing learned out here on the Seadoo. Always learning something new. Just when you think you've got all this gear figured out, it throws something new at you. So this is just how fast stuff can come up in Georgian Bay. When we came out here, it was relatively calm. Now heading back, we're into three foot swells and just kind of bouncing around out on the open water. And yet, it doesn't seem that windy out, but the swells have come up all of a sudden and we're kind of bouncing around out here a bit. So that happened pretty quickly. Now there are a couple of kayakers over there who are enjoying it. They seem to be okay. But we're getting a little wet out here now as the chop sprays over the front of the Seadoo coming back at us. We've got a bit of this open water to kind of get through, and then we'll get back into some of the islands again. But out here there's so much rock, little shelves of rock, that you kind of got to stick with the markers. Even though it takes you out into the bigger open water, you got to stick in between the markers out here. So that's a lesson in just how fast Georgian Bay water can change. We traveled that distance out there really fast going out, but coming back, we were in 3-4 foot rollers just up and down, up and down. You could just, just roll along with it and bouncing, taking some spray. Yeah, glad that's over with. We're back on the inside stuff now, so it should be better. I've got a little carpal tunnel in this wrist. So I started off using these two fingers, and then I was using this finger on the throttle. Then I was using just the last finger on the throttle, and they were all getting very, very numb and sore as you just kind of hang on, rolling up and down with the waves. Anyway, it looked nice out there, but those are some pretty good swells. Anyway, we're back on the inside now. So it's just about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's just starting to come down a little bit. We are maybe 40 minutes, 35 minutes from being back. I think we're just going to kind of head back now to where we launched from, pull the Seadoos out of the water, talk about whether or not we want to go back out onto the highway to refuel or what we want to do. But we have camp still to set up a little bit in the campground. I don't have much to set up, obviously, because I'm sleeping in the truck tonight, but the other guys have got some tents and stuff to set up. But time to go back and check out the campground and just see what the situation there is, because we haven't even looked at the campsite yet. We basically got there, put our Seadoos right in the water, and then just kind of took off right from there. So we've got to have a look at the campsite and see what that looks like. Well, the rest of the trip should be all pretty much on the inside of the island. It shouldn't be too rough from here on in. That is a beautiful cottage. all in cedar shakes. Looks like there's 3 bay doors there. You'd almost think that those were garage doors. Garage doors to nowhere. Maybe there's a garage on the other side, and they just left it for potentially opening up on the side at some point. Isn't that beautiful? That's a very nice cottage. Guest cottage over there. All with the cedar shakes on the outside. Really nice. Okay, so there's the trip stats for today. We did in total today 137 kilometers, 5.5 hours running time on the water. Or is that, no, that's total time. Moving time, 5 hours roughly on the water, moving time. So yeah, that's, it just seemed longer today, faster, I should say, than it was in reality. I thought we had not been out that long, but I guess we have, and I didn't think we'd actually gone that far, but yeah, 137 kilometers in total. So the guys are going to get their vehicles, pull them out of the water, and then we'll go up and check out this campsite and see what the situation is there. So the parking situation at campsite 23 is not exactly the best. The site that I'm at is actually campsite 22, which is right beside 23, which is over here. But when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles and trailers, of which 3 want to stay for the night, 1's going back to stay at a motel tonight, it's just really tight in here. There's just not a lot of room, and this is the dead-end road, so there's not like there's a road going by so you can kind of go by and then back into the site. It's a dead end here. Didn't realize that when I booked it. So it's tight. So that's actually not our camp spot. I don't know if anybody's going to show up there tonight or not. That's 22, and this is 23 here. The spot is fine. It's just that parking is really not good. It's really tight. Well, I think we figured out the parking situation, but before it gets too dark, let me just give you a little shot of what our campsite situation is for tonight. We've managed to get 3 vehicles in here and 3 Seadoos that'll be parked here for tonight. The guys have set up tents. Greg is over there, Andrew's in the hammock over there, and I'll be sleeping in the truck over there. That's actually over there another camp spot. That's this camp spot next to us. So if somebody shows up, I am going to have to pull out of there and move the vehicle. But I don't think anybody's showing up in there tonight. So we're tight for space, so I think I'll leave that there. I'll sleep in the back of the truck. And yeah, we just parked the trailer in here. Trailer is set up over there, and we'll have a fire there. Vehicles are parked right around here. And you can see the little lights up and around the back. I'll show you another shot or two once we get the fire set up a little bit later on tonight. We're going to get about 4 bags of wood, and then we'll get a fire going, and we're going to get the briquettes going in the barbecue over there. Turn in, call it a night, and we'll see you in the morning. We having breakfast here first? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to make some breakfast, have some breakfast here. Go out and get some fuel, come back, and then get these Seadoos back in the water, because there hardly looks like there's a breeze anywhere around us this morning. It looks really still, really nice and calm out here. So let's get some breakfast underway, and then we'll pack up. Just cooking up a few sausages here this morning on my little burner. And then we'll fry up a couple of eggs. Since I brought them, we might as well eat them. I'm not that hungry this morning, but could be a longer day. Don't know when we're going to eat again, so we'll have a breakfast and then pack stuff away. Okay, we've got the eggs on. Sausages are ready. If I could just find a little salt and pepper somewhere. I know I brought it, I just don't know where it is right now. You got some handy? So Andrew brought these little things you can buy at, I guess, Starbucks. Little packets of coffee. This one's called Italian Roast. Can you buy different types? What's that? Can you buy different types? Yeah. So you can get these little packets of coffee from Starbucks, and then you just dump them in with hot water and add whatever milk you want or whatever you need, and you're good to go. I'll take a little shot of that too when I get my cup, when I find my cup. Well, it has taken a little while this morning to kind of get organized. It's probably after 11 o'clock in the morning now. Finally got all the trucks parked, got the Seadoos back in the water, and ready to make our way out of here. I think we're going to be heading out and then a bit to the south today. We went to the north yesterday out of this area. I think we'll kind of explore some of the areas around the southern islands in this region of Georgian Bay. Maybe over to the Ojiway Club, have a look around there and just see what's going on out there today. I think the wind might be up a little bit more today than it was yesterday, at least at this time of the morning, just heading out of the bay here at Sturgeon Provincial Park. Seems a little bit windier. Coastline looks just as beautiful this morning. They've got nice rugged rock all around here, and then back over that way on the provincial campground, they've got a sand beach. So if you got kids and stuff like that, that's a pretty good campground for you. And I think we're ready to go. I've put the bubbles, as I call them, sunglasses on today. Just gives you a little bit more eye protection from the wind. After all that riding yesterday, 140 kilometers or so, eyeballs are a little bit sore. So I'm just going to put a little suction cup sunglasses on today, protect the eyes a little bit more. Look at the rock here. Wow. It's just been sculpted out. Just wave action, I guess, year after year after year. It's just carved out those little layers and notches on the rock. Almost right down through the water. That's kind of pretty. All of this granite from the last ice age. When the ice sheets retreated, they tore up all this rock on their retreat and formed the Canadian Shield. Ojiway Club. So the Ojiway Club is kind of a summer community center in the Point Au Baril area. It sits on a 42-acre island. It's only accessible by boat. It's where summer islanders in this area come together to play tennis, bridge, go for walks on historic trails. This thing has been around since 1906. You can shop here, get some groceries. There's a gift shop. The kids have a summer camp program here where they sail, canoe, swim. There's kayaking. There's a bunch of tennis courts that are set up in the back here as well. It's just kind of a place where the people who have cottages in this area come together, meet, socialize, and then also have a summer camp for their kids. And did I mention that you can also, at this place, get ice cream here. They've got some nice, I think it's Kawartha ice cream, and I was not the only one to get an ice cream cone here. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this Yukon Bob video right here at the Ojiway Club. We've had a couple of great days on the water of Georgian Bay, up around the Point Au Baril, Lighthouse, north of that, then back down camping at Sturgeon Bay Provincial Park last night. Had a great steak dinner last night on the barbecue there, and then we've also been cruising around some of the areas around Ojibway Island on Georgian Bay throughout today. It's been great days. The weather's been good. A little bit choppy coming back yesterday on Georgian Bay, but not too bad. We managed to get through that. Had a great night with the guys at the campfire setting last night. Sorry I didn't get to shoot too much of that. I got kind of carried away with cooking steaks and stuff like that and didn't film a lot of that, but I will do that the next time I'm out camping. That's it for this one. Thanks for coming along, guys. I'll see you somewhere in the next week. We are going to do a few more videos. I will be wrapping things up somewhere in September, though. I want to do a couple of rides just solo with no camera gear, just rides without any work involved, any aspects of filming, none of that. And I'd also like to get a couple of motorcycle rides in this fall as well. So maybe we'll do a video on one of those. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you guys on the next Yukon Bob video. Stay safe on the water. And as always, bye for now.